Hi everyone, welcome to Tech Talks. My name is Michael Bertoni and I'm the founder and CEO of Philly Tech. And I am so excited today for our guest, guys, Thomas Camarda. Thomas, I have known him for years and he is one of the best networkers in the Philadelphia region, has an unbelievable event called the Ultimate Networking Group that I've been a part of for many years. So he's going to tell you about himself in a few minutes, but welcome to the show, Tom.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks a lot for coming.
My pleasure.
So again, just to tell you about what Tech Talks is about. Tech Talks is really focused on entrepreneurs, self-starters, people in the startup industry, right? Tech companies, software companies, people that really want to make a difference in terms of building technology, building software in order to really help people's lives. So I've been involved in this space as the founder of Philly Tech for about 20 years. So I'm really an expert in this space. And again, really excited to be talking to Tom today because Tom really has set the standard in the markets for networking, right? And he has this tremendous event that he's been running for years that he'll tell you more about called Ultimate Networking, right? I'm talking to him about building some software and technology that might be used for ultimate networking and the people involved with that. So that's really exciting as well. So Tom, welcome to the show. It's great to have you again here.
Well, thank you, Michael.
And so tell the audience a little bit about your background. Before you started Ultimate Networking, what were you doing? What's your background kind of in the Philly region? People like to hear that.
Okay, well, basically, I came to Philly in the early 2000s. I was in the finance industry at the time. When I came to Philly, I didn't know anybody in Philadelphia at all. So I came here for business. It's pretty rough when you come into a city for business and you don't know anyone.
Right.
So basically what happened was I would say about about 2004, 2005, around that time. I just searched on Google, and believe me when I tell you, the internet was nowhere near like what it is today.
Right. Oh yeah.
Back in 2004. But yeah, I searched the internet, and I just searched for, back then they never called them a networking event back then. It was called a business card exchange. That's
right.
what they used to call them. So I just went online and I Googled business card exchanges in Philadelphia and networking in Philadelphia, but business card exchanges came up, and then there was this thing called Social Philly back then.
Right.
This was a business card exchange, and it was really amazing because you go into this event and there were hundreds of people there. Right. And they were business people. So this was great, and it was a great way to meet different people and talk about your business and exchange business cards, exchange information and everything. Yeah. So it was fantastic. So that's the way I really built my network and got to do business because of the fact that I was going out, meeting people,
right.
and getting business through that.
Yeah.
And you know what? That was doing fantastic. Up until about 2007, 2008, it was working out wonderfully. Right. All of a sudden, there was a transition, and where it was almost like going out after work for a drink, and nobody had any business cards.
Right.
They weren't there to do business. They were there just basically, like after work dating type of thing. It was like, it wasn't nothing to do with business. But that's not the reason why I was there. I was there with business cards. Nobody had a business card. And, it just sort of, just that whole networking thing just changed. It almost got to the point where people didn't even know how to network anymore. They didn't know how to connect anymore properly.
Sure.
So in 2009, actually, when I went to Social Philly, I met this gentleman. His name is Gus Calabrese. He ran the network, Social Philly. And it was funny. I told Gus in 2008, I said, believe it or not, we are going to do business together. Sure. And he said to me, if I had a dime for everybody that said that to me, he goes, I'd be rich.
Yeah.
So it was funny because I had to do something for him to remember me. So I pulled the dime out of my pocket. I said, well, here's my dime. I says, remember my name.
Right.
So in 2009, I decided because of the downward turn of the networking industry the business-to-business networking industry, I decided that I wanted to start my own network. And the reason why I wanted to start my own network is not to get back a network, but I wanted to start a network to teach people how to properly connect, how to communicate. Through business, and the proper skills and what you need to do, and how to be prepared, and how to follow up, and really give them a whole lowdown on what they need to do. Because when people come out to a networking event, especially if they come for their first time, you got to realize they're walking into a room with 100 people or so, maybe more, and they don't know any of these people. So they might be reluctant to, maybe shy, maybe be reluctant to put their hand out and shake a hand and meet somebody. So what I did was I purposely structured this event to have what we call ultimate networking ambassadors. And these ultimate networking ambassadors, what they're there for purposely is to help you connect. So when you walk into a room of 100 people, now you have maybe 8 to 10 ambassadors, and we point them out and tell everybody, please go see these people, and they will help you meet the people you need to meet. So how would you like to now walk into a room and meet somebody, an ultimate networking ambassador, and say, hey, I'm Tom, and I'm looking to meet these type of people and these type of businesses. And that person now, because he knows the room, could actually walk you around and introduce you to other people, which is awesome, because now you feel like you're there with a friend, so you got an assistant to be there with, pretty much. And, and basically what you do, we have maybe like a 15-minute, 10-minute break, and in that break, that's when we do some teaching of the skills and what to do, how to properly follow up and what's going on. We give away a whole bunch of prizes and stuff. But it's a great way to get out and meet people. We've been doing it now since 2009. We just celebrated our 10th year doing this. Back in October, we celebrated our 10th year. And I tell you what, it's just absolutely amazing, because when I told you that I moved here in 2003 knowing no one, and just by going to networking events alone, from 2003 to 2009, when I started Ultimate Networking Event, and Gus Calabrese, by the way, I made him my partner. He became my partner at that point. I actually amassed over 40,000 in a network, and I moved to the city with knowing no one. And that's just through going out and connecting. But connecting properly, knowing how to follow up with people, knowing how to, the timeline, how long people are going to really remember you. And then, of course, there's certain things that when you're at a networking event, it's funny thing is that, there's certain ways to get information from people that you need to know. And the questions are very, very funny. I mean, because quite honestly, if I want to know something from you, I'm going to ask what I'm going to ask is that question that I want you to know about me. So I'll ask the same thing to prompt you to ask me, because, hey, look, we're in the metropolitan area. Any metropolitan area, Philadelphia, New York, wherever you are, the city mentality is nobody wants to be one-upped. If I got all this information on you, now you're going to want the information on me. So you're going to pretty much ask me the same questions I ask you. So whatever you want people to know about you, those are the questions you ask. And, and following up with people, and that's it. The funny thing is, everyone goes to a networking event to build their business, to build their brand. And, when I started Ultimate Networking, I didn't do it to own a network, all right, which worked out wonderfully, don't get me wrong. But what I did it for is to promote my business, what I do. I'm saying same way someone would go into a networking event to promote their business is the same way I would go and promote mine. And basically it's worked out very, very well for me. I've built a tremendous network of professionals. My business that backs this up is actually very, very simple. It's, I basically help people lower the, recurring bills that they have that they get on an ongoing basis. And it's a free service, it doesn't cost them anything. And what was great about it is when I told people about what I do, what was really good is that the fact that when I told people about what I do, they wanted to know how they could create a revenue stream from that. And that was great. And I literally partnered with dozens of professionals in the area since then.
So guys, in terms of networking, we've talked about this so many times on this show. Guys like Tom, and I also have events that I've been running. I mean, I went to Tom's original events back in like 2000, I think it was before 2009, but I mean, really setting the standard for how you do networking, right? And what I've said on this show many times is you have to have some type of foundational platform for your network, right? You have you have LinkedIn, you have Facebook, you have these places, but you need to be going to events like Ultimate Networking, right? Like my events, right? I have a software and health tech meetup that I do every month. And it's extremely important, guys. So guys like myself, guys like Tom, we could help you. We could help you understand the value of having your own network, right? And what that means to your business. So again, more about Ultimate Networking, Tom. So I like the concept. I really like the concept of ambassadors, right? So tell the audience a little bit maybe about some success stories, right? Through the years that you've had. So you have these ambassadors, and that again, guys, is a big challenge, right? When you go to an event, and that's actually one of the challenges that Tom and I are trying to solve, is you go to an event, you don't know anybody, right? You go to an event, there's like 100 people there. Who do you talk to? Who do you meet with? Technology, guys, and software can solve these problems. So tell us a little bit more about the ambassadors, right? And maybe some success stories that you've seen, because people love to hear success stories about, hey, someone came into your group, they met an ambassador, they started doing business, right? Give the audience some stories around
Well, I tell you what, one of my favorite stories is a gentleman that I met. He was a young man at the time. He's still a young man now, but at the time he was in credit restoration. He was in credit repair.
Right.
And I met him outside of my networking event. I met him, and when he told me about what he did, I invited him to my event. I told him it was probably about I would say 2011.
Right.
And I invited him to my event, and he said, what do I do? I said, well, just come, be my guest, come, and I'll help you get around and the whole deal.
Right.
And he came, and I introduced him to a few people. Like, I acted as if, of course, I am an ambassador of my own event. And I actually introduced him to people, and he was a shy guy, all right? And, but you know what? I took him under my wing, and I basically helped him break the shell. And understand how important it is to connect with people. Because networking, today, in today's world, when people talk about networking, they talk about like computer networking and all that stuff like that.
Sure.
But networking is basically connecting people. That's what networking is.
Right.
So basically, I did that with this young man. And he got so good at what he was doing. He really, really honed in on all the skills that he was taught, and he got there. And then we made him an ambassador the following year.
Yeah.
And and he really took off with it. And he started doing business and started doing stuff, and his business started growing and was fantastic. That gentleman today runs the largest real estate networking organization in Philadelphia. All right.
Nice.
And from that, he developed a magazine called Philadelphia Top Producers.
Right.
And his name is Josh Buchter, and he's now known as the Wolf of Broad Street. He runs his own events.
Nice.
And this all came from that one day, him coming to our event, a shy guy, and now I can't tell you how he's broken out of his shell. And he's really the best success story that I could actually have. And I'm so proud of him. He's an amazing young man, and he's actually connected so many people. He runs his own events. And what's really cool about this, too, is that, even though I have this Ultimate Networking event, and people can go right online to the ultimatenetworkingevent.com, they can purchase their tickets, it's very inexpensive. It's $25 to buy a ticket. It comes with your first drink is on us, and it comes with appetizers and everything, and then you get to meet all these great people. But what the great thing about it is that you're really connecting and meeting the people that you need to know.
Right.
Now, the funny thing is about networking, the person that you meet might not be the person you do business with.
Yeah.
But the point is if you connect properly, that person could lead you, because you have to realize something. The average person, believe it or not, knows 200 people.
Right.
All right? So if you realize that one person that knows 200 people, what they could lead you to.
Yeah.
And if you could help them, they're going to help you, because they're going to just reciprocate.
So guys, coming back to Tech Talks in a few minutes, because we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the value, right, of networking. We're going to talk about more stories, because we really want to help people network better, make better connections, and add value to what you're trying to do. So come on back to Tech Talks in a few minutes. Thanks.
TV is a platform for people of any industry to share their story. Over 285,000 viewers are tuning in to RVN TV shows monthly. We guarantee a great experience that you'll be sharing with everyone you know while increasing your personal and company's brand awareness. But what is your brand? According to Forbes, it's a combination of your logo, your product, your design and feel, and your personality. Did you know that aside from being a guest, we offer even more opportunity to boost your brand? Adding your company logo and website on screen during your interview will allow viewers to recognize your brand instantly. Incorporating images and video clips is...
So welcome back to Tech Talks. My name again is Michael Bertoni, and I'm the founder and CEO of Philly Tech. And again, Tech Talks, guys, is every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. And come on back every week, and we got some awesome guests. So again, Tom and I were talking about networking. And Tom put together some information that he wants to add value to the audience, right, in terms of tips for connecting through social media. Tom actually just got an article. I think he's going to be published. He could tell you a little bit more about that. But yeah, Tom, tell everybody about where you're going to be published, right, so people can maybe find you. And then let's get into this. How can people connect through social media? What are some tips that you have?
All right. Well, first of all, I'm right now in the middle of writing a book on getting connected and how to network properly and the whole deal, and connecting to people to build your business. And the young man I just mentioned a moment ago, that runs that publishes the Philadelphia Real Producers magazine. Basically features me in his magazine. I was published in that in January, and this article that I'm speaking about now will be published in the March edition.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited for Josh for all his accomplishments. But you know what the funny thing is people connect. Today social media is so huge. I mean, Facebook is like 85% of people are on Facebook, and LinkedIn is tremendous as well. And but what we have is basically taking that as a tool is what's important, all right? Because you know what? You could have, like I do, I mean, I have almost 5,000 friends on Facebook.
Right.
And you have 5,000 friends on Facebook, but who do you really know? I mean, how many of those friends that, you have no clue that you ever met before, but they're your friends on Facebook, and they see your post and the whole deal. So basically taking that connection from social media online and taking it live is where the magic begins.
Right.
All right, because that's where you could actually connect with these people. And you got to realize something. The one very most important thing that you need to know, people will do business with people that they know and they trust. All right, so for social media, you know these people, they're friends of yours on Facebook, but do you really know them, number one? And if you don't know them, how are you going to trust them?
Yeah.
So basically, creating that rapport with those people is really where the magic happens. And basically, this is the article I wrote. I'm just going to give it real quick. It's 6 tips for connecting through social media and taking it to the next level. Yeah. All right. So the number one, the first thing to do is pick the platform that you are going to be speaking about or be talking to. So you could pick Facebook or you could pick LinkedIn, whichever you'd like to pick. It's your choice. But the reason why you want to pick a platform is because you don't want to go through who am I speaking to today? Am I speaking to somebody on Facebook or speaking to somebody on LinkedIn? So it's where you choose the platform that that you have the most value in and that you're heaviest on. So you pick, let's say we pick Facebook. All right, one of the most important things is you want people to ask you questions about what it is that you do. So when you're doing this, really you don't have to have your company's banner and your company, people want to know about you. Facebook is a tool and a social media platform where it's a personal thing. People want to know about who you are and the whole deal. So your photo, shouldn't be anything about business. It should be a photo of you, your lifestyle. It should be really all about you. Give people a reason to ask you the questions that you want them to ask you. That's number one. And number two is constantly build your audience, build your network. you know, your friend requests people every day. You look at different people. You know, I mean, on Facebook, they tell you that these are the people that you might know. And the reason why they do that is because you have so many friends with those people in common. So basically, you know, you're building your audience that way. And of course, through mutual connections. You know, take a look at your mutual connections, the people that you're solid with. And you might want to send out a Facebook invite to Joe and say, hey, Joe, just happened, you know, curious. We're mutual friends with Mike. How do you know Mike? And then, you know, hey, let's connect, see what happens. You know, and that always builds a conversation. You know, the funniest way to build your network too is that every day on Facebook, they send you whose birthday it is. And you know what you could say on it, don't say it on their wall, but say it to a personal message to them. Give them a happy birthday, because on their birthday, their wall is going to be flooded with people. But when they get a private message, it's like sending them a birthday card. All right, and how special is it to get a birthday card? You feel real special about that. Number 3 is engage with your audience. Post stuff that's relevant. You know, post stuff about yourself. If you like family, if you like, you know, if you like camping, if you know, anything to do with, if you're a success-oriented guy and you like, you know, I don't know, if let's say you like motivation, you feel like Jim Rohn or Brian Tracy or whatnot, you know, post stuff like that, post quotes, post, you know, just, you know, pictures, great pictures of stuff that make people like you and know who you are. All right, so engaging is a very, very important thing. Also, you want to, very, very importantly, the whole idea for doing all this is because you want to develop your brand. Basically, when I say develop your brand, who do you know, what do you want to be known for? Think about it that way. You know, if you want people to know you as a professional, then work in that professional realm. Give advice to them. You know, put out something on a daily basis, but you got to realize something. Whatever you post on there, they will know that that is you. You know, developing the brand that you are and your storyline is very, very important. One of the things I will tell you, if you want to lose half your friends on Facebook, yeah, stop posting political. Right. Because I tell you something, half the people in this country like one thing and the other half like another, especially today, in today's world with politics. Stay away from politics, all right? Provide value, keep it interesting. You know, people want to know more about yourself, but you just don't want to be self-centered. You don't want to show off. All right? It's very, very important. You don't want to, you know, make people think, oh, who does this guy think he is? You know, you don't want to give that kind of a feeling, all right? Communicate with your audience through private messages. Reach out and introduce yourself just as if you met them in person. What you want to do is taking it to the next level. By using private messages, you are taking it to the next level. You're building rapport with them. You're having conversation, just like as if you're texting. If I was texting you, Mike, what's going on today? How you been? Yeah. You know, you have that rapport, and then once you feel the trust is there, and you start talking on maybe a daily basis, a couple of times a week. Then you could turn around and say, you know, hey, let's take this offline. You want to grab a cup of coffee if you're in the neighborhood? Right. And, I've never gotten somebody to tell me no. Yeah. I've never gotten somebody to tell me no. You know, like I said, you know, social media it's a tremendous and incredible way to connect with people. If you use the tool the right way, it will build your business tremendously. Yeah. But the point is that you have to realize it's only a tool. It's not the end-all, do-all. It's only a tool. It's a way to take that and make it a connection, where those people now know you, trust you, and guess what? People do business with people that they know and they trust.
Absolutely. So Tom, tell the audience where they could find you. So you said Facebook, you said LinkedIn. We got to wrap up the show here. Tell them where they could find you, right? Tell them how they could connect with you, and then we'll complete the show, guys. All
right, well, first of all, I'm on LinkedIn, Thomas Camarda, and my name is up on the screen. On LinkedIn, on Facebook, the same thing, Thomas Camarda. If you want to find out more about my networking events, it's theultimatenetworkingevent.com. I also have a page on Facebook and on LinkedIn, The Ultimate Networking Event. Yeah. And it's Philadelphia-based. And, you know, also, like I said, you know, that's basically, you can find me there, or you could always email me as well. And you can email me at my full name, #1@gmail.com.
Great. So Tom, thanks a lot for coming.
Michael,
it's been great. I love talking about networking, guys. So come on back to Tech Talks every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. And looking forward to seeing you next week. Thanks.